Next in line, HiBoy P7 e-bike. Another one. Got another one, Leo. Another one. What do you think? Leo just shakes his head because we keep getting e-bikes. Listen, holidays are coming. If you want an e-bike, make sure you look at all of these reviews, figure out what's best for you. Let's get this HiBoy P7 e-bike out of the box and see what it's made of. And just like that, we are together. So here it is. This is the HiBoy P7 electric bike. This is a really pretty basic bike. We'll go through all the options when we go take it to ride, but she's together now. Everything checks out. Let's power it on. There you go. So the screen is lit up. Pretty bright. HiBoy P7, let's get this thing charged up and let's go for a ride. All right, so we've got the HiBoy out. We're gonna go ahead and do a little field test here. We've got a nice off-road area to ride around in. We'll do a little bit of on-road riding. We'll just see how it does overall. So basically, overview on this bike. The first thing I wanna mention is this is an inexpensive solution. This is not a high-end bike, so expectations have to start on a much lower level when it comes to this particular bike. There are more expensive options from them. There are more expensive options out there, higher quality options I should say as well, but we're gonna just basically start with that premise that this is an inexpensive bike. This is under $1,000. It's not a high expectations bike to begin with. So we'll start with, it does have disc brakes, but they are mechanical. So, you know, again, I love to see hydraulic. This is not hydraulic, this is mechanical. So your braking is gonna be a little bit less than some of the other higher quality options. Another thing I'll mention, the fork. This is a pretty small fork. This is not a high-end fork. Again, a little bit on the cheap side, but the whole bike is very inexpensive. So we're just not going to expect much from that. We got our light, no big deal. We have some off-road narrow tires. They're not fat tires. I do like this because these are more like mountain bike-ish, and it's a lighter option too. So it makes a huge difference on the overall mass of the bike. Battery is integrated into the frame, as you can see here. There is an access door here to drop the battery out. Not too bad there. That's pretty standard stuff. The seat is pretty narrow. So if you're a bigger rider, you're gonna probably wanna switch this out. Seat height, not bad. As you can see, I'm flat-footed, 6 foot. This fits perfectly. I've got a couple inches beneath me that I can wiggle around with. So shorter rider friendly for sure. If you're under, you know, 5'8", 5'7", you're still okay with this bike. 5'4", 5'5", you'll still be okay with this bike. Not too bad there. Moving around to this side, we can see the transmission. So Shimano, name brand, that's not too bad. I'm actually, that's like a standard, I was gonna say, in this model, or in bikes today, I should say. This is a 500 watt hub motor on the back here. So decent power, not a lot. We're gonna test it off road though. That's my main thing, is when we get into that sugar sand over there, we're gonna see how this really works out, because sugar sand is always the biggest test for off-road capability on these bikes. Handlebars, it's a pretty straight bar. It's got a tiny curve in it, but it's basically a straight bar. You can see the riser here is lifted with these spacers, so it's got a little bit of height. If you're a taller rider, you might want a little more. You can put a high-rise bar on it if you want and jack that seat way up. Shorter riders, you're gonna love this. This is good for you. So, okay, let's go ahead. We're gonna take it on the field test now and see how it does. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this all the way up power wise. Everything's all the way where it should be. Let's see how this thing does in a off-road environment here. All throttle, takeoff, not too bad on the grass. Let's try this sand right here. This is soft, pretty soft sand. It's a little wet though, so it's not going to give up too much of resistance. But anyway, here we go. No problem. Getting up to speed. These big wheels too, they sop up a lot of this terrain, so that's another pretty good positive on this bike. It does have large wheels. Off-road, you can see it's taking it no problem. It's pretty bumpy terrain too. Some ruts. Gets through it. Here's kind of a little hill. Let's do this. Full throttle. Okay. Climbs the hill, no problem. So, not too bad, actually. I'd say that this bike is, like I said, for an inexpensive option, this is definitely something to consider. Because if you don't want to spend, you know, $1,500 or $2,000 on a bike, you can get into this. You'll still have fun. It's still a good electric bike. It's got decent power, and you can see it can handle the trails. I wouldn't even hesitate to take this on like some mountain bike trails and stuff like that. Not too bad. Pretty thick grass here. And you can see it's eating it up decently. All right. Now, one thing I will mention, it does not have fenders. So you have to consider that. If you're going over like mud and stuff like that, you're gonna get stuff in your face. But let's go ahead, get on the road here now and see what we got. And this is all throttle. Acceleration, not too bad. We're right at 20 miles an hour now, according to this. Okay, 23 miles an hour. Looks like that's about the top speed. We'll have to check that against the GPS just to be sure that we're honest. We'll get the GPS out and see what that does. All right, let's see what we can do here speed-wise. We'll reset the counters. All throttle. No pedaling. Let's see how honest the speedometer is. Okay, Speedo says 23. GPS says 22. I see 24 flashing on the Speedo, 23. So it's about a mile per hour off, it looks like. Top speed 23.9, and we were hitting 24 on there, so it's about a mile per hour. I'd say it's 1 mile an hour. That's to be safe. 1 mile per hour off. That's not too bad. Not too bad. So pretty honest Speedo, which is usually not the case with these bikes. All right, I'm gonna pedal a little bit, see what that gets us. I'm in pedal assist 5, so let's see what that does. All right, feel the pedal assist coming in. Cadence is decently fast. And 24 miles an hour again. I'm not really assisting much by pedaling, so I think 24 is the top speed. That's about right. I think if I pedaled my heart out, I'd probably get to 26, 27, but that's not the point of this review at all. Not too bad. And the brakes were not terrible, but again, I do prefer a hydraulic brake over these mechanical brakes. So there you go. The HiBoy finished its little test, no problem at all. We'll continue riding it just to see how it does. Again, keep your expectations on the inexpensive side when you think about this bike. Don't think of a super high-end bike. Think of an inexpensive bike under $1,000. For under $1,000, you're not going to be disappointed. It is a really cool bike for under $1,000. Not too many of these bikes. I think this is the only the second one that we've had that was under $1,000. And hey, it's right there. You know, durability, I would say, needs a little bit more time to figure out. I think the part needing the most improvement on this bike is probably the front fork. I would really like to see a heavier duty fork, if anything, and then brakes, of course. But outside of that, this is a really decent bike. I like the weight. It's very light. I can pick it up with one hand. It probably weighs about 45 pounds maybe. And it's able to kind of go everywhere that a bicycle goes, including on the back of your bike rack, stuff like that. Doesn't have a really huge frame, and it's not very heavy. So good considerations for this bike when you're looking at them. And if you're interested, just check out the link below. You can get one of your own, and check out the other reviews as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little review of the HiBoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.